How's it going, everybody? This is Smitty, back with another video. Today I'll be completing the second part of my top 50 NBA players list. This is a two-part series, so if you haven't seen part 1, there will be a card on screen for you guys to go see it. I highly advise you see it, so you know how I rank every single player. But in today's part, we'll be discussing the top 25. But before we get into this video, it would be awesome if you could check to see if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. It's completely free, takes 1 second to do, and it really helps my channel grow. Also, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and comment, as it'll recommend my video to other people through YouTube's algorithm. With that being said, let's get right into the video. At number 25, in the gray tier, we've got Julius Randle. Julius is a new entry into the top 50, and he is definitely the frontrunner for the most improved player. When the Knicks landed Julius in free agency, during the summer they struck out on KD and Kyrie, everyone was saying how he's a budget Zion and how Julius was a horrible pickup for the Knicks. Obviously, Julius definitely took that to heart, and he proved everybody wrong. He's been the leader of this Knicks team, and he was a first-time All-Star, actually getting recognition for his impact this season. He is averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, which is substantially outperforming his expectations. Hopefully the Knicks can make it out of the first round this season, and maybe make some noise, and maybe Julius can show us what he can do in high-leverage moments. At number 24, I got Jaylen Brown, up 8 spots from last year at number 32. Jaylen had a blazing hot start to this season, and he was arguably outperforming Jason Tatum. Unfortunately, he's had to deal with some injuries, but I still believe Jaylen can start next season on the same trajectory as the start of this season. Jaylen has been a second option this year, and he's been averaging 25, 6, and 3 so far. I think that Jaylen could maybe lead a team averaging close to 28 points per game, but he hasn't quite had the opportunity to take the reins of a franchise player yet. Jaylen's upside is very high, and I can see him getting better for the foreseeable future. At number 23, I got Zion Williamson, up 17 spots from last year. Many people were mad that I put Zion above Ja last season, but look how that aged. Zion has ascended exponentially since last season, and has upped his production in almost every statistical category. The Pelicans will probably miss out on the playoffs, but they have a very solid young core that is not something to take for granted. Zion averaged 27, 7, and 4, which is very impressive for a second-year player. Hopefully Zion can take another jump next season. At number 22, I got Paul George, the same spot as last year. PG-13 started this season very hot, but he hasn't quite been playing consistently since then. Some nights he drops 30, other nights he merely drops 10. This is a huge dilemma for the Clippers, who just signed PG long term. It's crazy that he was an MVP candidate a couple years ago. Even though he has digressed since his MVP case, I still think that PG gets too much slander. He is still an all-star caliber player. At number 21, I got Chris Paul, down 3 spots from last year. CP3 has played great for the Suns this year, but we are finally seeing his digression. His efficiency is still great, but his volume is starting to get smaller every season. He has been the leader of this Suns team, despite Devin Booker being the better player, due to his IQ and experience in the league. I like how CP3 is aging in the NBA, but I still think he can get a little bit overrated sometimes. IQ and leadership is key for every single team, but does that automatically make a player an MVP candidate? I would say no, but it's still a very valuable quality. At number 20, I got Russell Westbrook, down 1 spot from last year. Russ has been absolutely balling lately, surpassing Oscar Robertson's triple-double record. The man is averaging 22, 12, and 12. If Russ just had better efficiency, he would for certain be in my top 10, but I do think his stats are slightly padded. Russ is still a great rebounder and playmaker, but I do think he can sometimes be a stat filler. Even though Russ is my favorite player in the NBA, I can still see his flaws, but at the end of the day, the man puts his heart and soul on the court every single night, so he deserves a nod into my top 20. At number 19, I got Bradley Beal, up 6 spots from last year. Bradley Beal has recently showcased how he can win while scoring the basketball at high volumes. In previous seasons, Beal has been labeled as a stat filler on offense that cannot lead a team to winning, and to start this season, it was starting to look like that was the case. Finally, with a partner in crime, Russell Westbrook, Beal has recently shown how valuable he is, dropping 40-point games which actually lead to wins. The man is averaging 32 points per game and is right on Steph's tail to win the scoring title. You could argue that Russ is the leader of this Wizards team, considering he conducts the offense, but I think the two of them co-lead this team, and I give Beal the slight edge over Russ because of his efficiency. At number 18, I got Donovan Mitchell, down 1 spot from last year. Don has been the leader of this absurd Jazz team, averaging 26, 4, and 5. The only reason why he is down 1 spot from last year is simply because a couple other guys have gotten a lot better, while Don has only slightly improved. I still don't think the Jazz can make it to the conference finals, but I do think they are a formidable team that can take anyone out in 7 games if they are healthy. At number 17, I got Devin Booker, also down 1 spot from last year. D-Book is in a very similar situation to Donovan Mitchell. He's the best player on a top-seeded team in the West, sorry Chris Paul fans, and he is still a young talent. I put D-Book over Don simply because of preference. I think D-Book can take over a game even more than Don can on offense. This is saying a lot since Don is a beast, and I think that D-Book can close a game more efficiently. Other than that, the two are very close to rank, and I almost wanted to put them as a tie. As for the Suns, I think D-Book is truly the best player on the team. Even though CP3 runs the offense and is the coordinator of the team, D-Book is the engine, and the opposing team's defenses gravitate towards him rather than CP3. This isn't trying to discredit Chris Paul, I just think D-Book is the best player on the Suns, and I'm sure many of you guys can agree. At number 16, the first player in the turquoise tier, I got Karl Anthony Towns, down 1 spot from last year. Cat hasn't played much this season due to injuries and COVID, but in the few games he has played, the man has shown how dominant he is, even while injured, averaging 25, 11, and 5 while being injured on absurd efficiency. Cat is such a great big man. It truly is unfortunate how many people discredit Cat's ability because of the situation he's in. The guy could easily be the second best player on a championship team if led by a point guard. I hope him, D'Lo, and Ant-Man can keep getting better and push for the playoffs next season. At number 15, I got TRAE Young, up 16 spots from last year. TRAE has gotten marginally better, but the main reason why he shot up so much is because of his team's success. Last year, TRAE definitely balled out, but it didn't lead to many wins. This season, TRAE has played basketball the right way, getting teammates involved, only shooting good shots, and taking over the game in the fourth quarter. This is exactly what we needed to see from Ice TRAE, and his improved playstyle has shown up on the Hawks' record, from the 14th seed last year to the 4th seed this year. I hope TRAE and the Hawks can make some noise in the playoffs. I think a Hawks vs Knicks series would be a great series to watch, and it could easily go to 7 games in my opinion. At number 14, I got Jayson Tatum. Guys, he's only 23 years old. Tatum's up 2 spots from last year, and it's because of another jump in his volume. Tatum's almost averaging 27 points per game on decent efficiency, and despite the COVID complications, his team is still in the playoffs. Unfortunately for the Jaylen Brown situation, I don't think the Celtics can make it out of the first round, but this Boston young core is going to be crazy in a couple years. The East better watch out. At number 13, I got Kyrie Irving, down 1 spot from last year. Kyrie has been great this season when he plays, averaging 27, 5, and 6 on great efficiency. The key word is when. Kyrie has been all over the place mentally this season, and I really wish he could take the game a bit more seriously. Obviously, family life comes first, but when you're seen at parties and strip clubs when you're supposed to be off for family reasons, it seems a little bit suspicious. If Kyrie could get his act in gear, he would easily be a top 10 player in the NBA, but for now, he stands just outside of it. At number 12, I got Jimmy Butler, also down one spot from last year. Jimmy missed the start of this season, but he has absolutely turned the tables for this depressing Heat team. This team was really looking like a bunch of pylons before Jimmy came back, and just look at them now. They're one of the hottest teams in the league, and they're not looking back. I feel sorry for any high-seeded team having to face Miami in the first round, because it's going to be a hard exit against Jimmy and company. At number 11, the first player in the blue tier, I got Damian Lillard, down 2 spots from last year. Hear me out. Dame hasn't gotten any worse at all. If anything, he may have gotten a little bit better than last season, but unfortunately, some other guys have taken huge leaps. When making this list, somebody had to get ranked out of the top 10, and I just had to choose Dame. I still put him in the blue tier, so you could easily put him all the way up to number 6 if you really wanted to, but I still have Dame Dollar at number 11. Dame has always been a walking bucket, averaging 29, 4, and 8 on great efficiency. At number 10, I got Joel Embiid, up 3 spots from last year. Game for game, Embiid is the most dominant player in the NBA. Averaging 29 and 11 on absurd efficiency, Embiid has been the epitome of dominant. He has a ginormous frame, alien-like strength, great handles, all NBA defense, smooth post moves, and a budding perimeter game. Embiid has shown every tool in the toolbox this season, and the man is just so fun to watch. If it weren't for the games he's missed, I would have Embiid in the next tier, but unfortunately, he has been injury prone for his entire career. At number 9, I got Anthony Davis, down 3 spots from last year. In 2020, AD had a case for the top player in the NBA. The guy was truly that good. Unfortunately, AD hasn't been the same this season. While still being dominant, he really hasn't been a top 10 player. I still have him here because I know what he can do when he's healthy, but I am still concerned about AD for the future. I'm not convinced he can lead a team without LeBron. He wasn't able to in New Orleans, and in the few games he has played without Bron, it hasn't gone too well. AD is still a great player, but if he plays like this next season, he won't make my top 10. At number 8, I got Luka Doncic, the same spot as last year. Man, Luka is something special. He has somehow gotten better since last season, when in all honesty, I didn't think it was possible. Even though it hasn't been exponential, Luka has seen improvement on his efficiency, the main crux from last year. Averaging 28, 8, and 9, Luka has been torching the league, and he even said he wasn't playing well for his standards. I wonder what Luka means by that, because if this is Luka playing mediocre or bad, I can't believe what good is for him. I have high hopes for Luka and Dallas. All they need is a dynamic duo to take a leap into the NBA Finals. At number 7, I got Nikola Jokic, up 3 spots from last year. Nikola Jokic has been the MVP this season, averaging 26, 11, and 9 on great efficiency, and on a great team, Jokic has had a flawless MVP case. The man has played in almost every game too, and I don't think he gets quite enough credit for that. If Jokic doesn't win MVP, I will be disappointed, because I truly think the choice is clear-cut. At number 6, I got James Harden, up 1 spot from last year. If I'm keeping it a buck, I've never really liked Harden. I found his game boring and frustrating to watch, and I never liked the Rockets system either. But this season, Harden has really done a 180 for me. He's playing so efficiently and smart, and has been the engine for this Nets team, whether you like it or not. I cannot stress how much of an impact he has been on this Nets team. It's actually unbelievable. James has shown a new level to his game, and I almost wanted to add him to the next tier, but I didn't want to jump the gun too quick. I gotta see this Nets team actually win the title before I can do that. At number 5, I got Kawhi the fun guy Leonard, down 3 spots from last year, and the first player in the purple tier. It seems as if Kawhi has slightly digressed in the past 2 seasons. I don't know if it's true or not, but I really haven't seen too much from him so far. I know Kawhi is a beast though, and I had to keep him in this tier, but his stat line hasn't been as crazy as the other guys in the top 10. Kawhi will always be Kawhi, but I bumped him down a few spots this year because he hasn't proven to me he's the same Kawhi from Toronto. At number 4, I got Giannis, the same spot as last year, averaging 28, 11, and 6, Giannis is still the two-time MVP we know him to be. With a slightly better crew this season, the real question is whether they can make it to the NBA Finals. If the Bucks can't even make the Western Conference Finals, I will have to reevaluate Giannis. But so far this season, Giannis has proven he is still that dude in the regular season. If the Bucks make the finals, I may move him up to top 2 or top 3. This may seem like an odd way to rank a player, but the top 4 are so close, it's little things like that which will make the difference for me. At number 3, I got Steph Curry, up 2 spots from last year. Steph has been an absolute menace this season, like no other player in NBA history, averaging 32, 6, and 6 on 42% from 3, 92% from the free throw line, and almost 50% from the field, on a team that practically has nobody. I'm convinced this is the best version of Steph that we've ever seen, and that is saying a lot. Honestly, it was a close call for me to put him at number 2, but I just couldn't quite do it. Regardless, Steph has been dominant, and hopefully him and Clay can storm the league next season. At number 2, I got Kevin Durant, up 1 spot from last year. Hear me out on this. KD hasn't played in many games. I know that. And sure, he has only been decent for his standards when he has played. But let's just consider for a moment, just one moment, that he's coming back from a torn ACL. The same injury that jeopardized many players' careers, such as Kobe and Derrick Rose. Yet KD has still come back as arguably a top 5 player right now. So if he's healthy next year, I think KD will be the best player in the league, unless somebody else comes out of the blue. Just take this into consideration. KD has averaged 28 points per game this season, on 54% from the field, 46% from 3, and 88% from the free throw line, on a torn ACL. And he's done this while playing the least amount of minutes per game of his entire career. I predict that KD will lead this Nets team to a championship, which isn't that far-fetched of a statement, and I think that KD will probably win Finals MVP if he's healthy. And at number 1, to nobody's surprise, in his own tier, at the same spot as last year, I got LeBron James. LeBron is still that dude, and even though his numbers haven't been great for his standards, he is still the best player in the world until proven otherwise. He is the reigning Finals MVP, so what else can I say? If LeBron doesn't make the Finals this year, or gets annihilated by the Nets in the Finals 4-0, I may have to reconsider my placement of LeBron. Maybe he would fall to 3rd, who knows. But in all honesty, LeBron still has a chance to win this year if the Lakers stay healthy. Maybe it's finally LeBron's time to start digressing, at the age of 36. He still will have an impressive legacy, regardless of what happens, but I still think LeBron has a couple years left in the tank to dominate. And that's all for the final part of my top 50 NBA players of 2021. These videos take me a very long time, approximately 20 hours total for the last 2 videos, so I would really appreciate it if you left a like before you leave. It will promote my video to even more people. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Smitty, signing off.